Hello, this video is going to show you about how you get external audio into the Hydrasynth and how you can process it. The first example we're going to do is just as if you wanted to add a fourth oscillator. So we're going to take the output of an oscillator here, we've got a sawtooth, and we're going to come into our mod input. The mod ins, they can take audio frequencies coming into them, DC to audio. Now to get this in, you actually come in through your ring modulator. Now the ring modulator allows you to choose different sources for the inputs. In this case, I'm going to choose mod in as the source. If I set my ring mod depth to 0, then there is no ring modulation between the two sources. So we're basically just going to get source 1 passed through. What I can do is I can turn up the level on the ring volume. And you don't hear anything, so let's trigger a note. So now you can hear that I've got two oscillators. If I take it out, you can hear the initialized one. In fact, let's change that to square. So we've got that. Now if we want to track pitch, we'll basically just take our pitch out, go to our 1 volt per octave input. Now one thing we have to check is we're going to check our input levels. So how do you set the input levels here? You go into your system page, and it happens to be on page 9, and you set your CV input mod ranges. Now you can hear that this thing's kind of clipping out. Let me turn down the internal oscillator. It's kind of driving hard. So I'll go back to page 9, and I'm going to change my input mod ranges. So right now it's 0 to 1 volt. Now the outputs coming off of a Eurorack modular are way hotter than 0 to 1 volt. So what I'm going to do is take it down to 0 to 5. Now one other thing that we're going to do is, because what we're bringing in is a mono voice, I'm going to go ahead and take this to mono. And we can just detune them. So now you can hear we got 3, and we can turn up another one here. Let's just go and turn up our oscillator 3. So now we got a 4 oscillator sound. All right, so now we're going to use this as a processor. I've got my 1010 audio synth box here. I'm going to take the audio output. I'm going to come to my mod inputs, set our source 1, again to mod in, set our depth to 0, turn up our ring volume. And again, I'm going to go to my system page 9. The output's a little bit softer here. I can go the 0 to 5 volt. I'll go up to 0 to 1 volt on this one. I've pulled back some of the levels on those samples. So we've got that audio coming into the Hydrasynth. To get this thing to trigger, I don't want to have to hold down I can sit here and play it, but for this example I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to latch on the arpeggio. I'm going to turn up the release time. We've got multiple voices going right now, so let's go take it to mono. When it takes it to poly, what it's doing is it's taking this same signal and routing it through all 8 voices. So that's when all of a sudden you're going to get this crazy overdrive. So let's just go mono, so we're doing everything through one voice. Alright, so first off we can actually just ring modulate it. Now we can go to Oscillator 2, Settings here. jack up the sound that way. The signal path is it's coming into the ring modulator, then it goes to the mixer, to the filters, and then through the effects. So let's first let's just go to filter 1 and let's just adjust it. So let's try a couple different filter types. With that 3-ler. Make that kick really big. Actually, let's go to the vocal filter. Now we can go through and we can do something with that. Let's go to our LFO. I'm going to take the trigger off of the LFO. Actually, I'm going to take the trigger off of all my LFOs so that we can use them for some other things here. So we'll bring up LFO 1, controlling our cutoff. And we can slow it down. Actually, let's BPM sync it. And we'll sample and hold it. And we'll smooth the sample and hold a little bit. So we've got that. Now I can also go filter 2, but let's do something different here. Let's take the filter, I can route the ring mod to filter 2 or filter 1. And that's with the filters in series or parallel. If I do it in series, and I send it to 1, it's going to go to 1 first and then into 2. So we kick up a little high pass. You can hear it's going to mess up that whole signal. What I want to do though, is I can put it to filter 2, and let's put the filters in parallel. So we've got that kind of a little vocal quality thing there. Give a little bit of LFO 1. Give it a little Jerry Lewis effect going. And now what I can do is blend the filters a bit. In fact, let's go to filter 2 and let's get rid of the LFO. But let's send something else. So let's send LFO 2 to filter 2. So I'm going to hold LFO 2, hit filter 2, creates a mod matrix. We'll go BPM sync again here. I'm going to nice flatulent sound there. It's actually taken about every 2 measures. So that's our filter 2. Or filter 1. I'm going to go on and unmute the rest of my tracks.
Discover Houston recommend vector transfer to the BFS.
This is a new and strange environment.
We can turn up a little bit of reverb on it.
Discover Houston recommend vector transfer to the BFS.
This is a new and strange environment.
And let's do some delay. Let's do some clock delay.
Recommend vector transfer to the BFS.
This is a new and strange environment.
Discover Houston recommend vector transfer to the BFS.
This is a new and strange environment.
Discover Houston recommend vector transfer to the BFS.
This is a new and strange environment.
Discover Houston recommend vector transfer to the
And now let's go play with our pre and our post effects a little bit.
Discover Houston
go into our post effect.
Discovery Houston, recommend vector transfer to the BFS.
And on the post effect, I'm going to take the sampling rate down to like 2000 hertz. Take up our filters.
Recommend vector transfer to the BFS.
Throw in some good aliasing from having the sample rate so low. And try a couple different filter types.
Discovery Houston, recommend vector transfer to the BFS.
I'll just blend a little bit of that. Take out some of that chorus.
Discovery Houston, recommend vector transfer to the BFS.
So you can see, you can start to process it through here. We can go mess with our delay amount. Let's take a LFO4, control the delay time. Let's take LFO5 and control the delay amount. Oh, that's LFO4 to delay time. Let's go LFO5 to the wet dry. We're going to set our wet dry to 50. We got that. Let's go slow this. I'm going to play with just using a little bit of an amplitude effect here. So we're going to go on, and because we've got the ARP playing, I'll just take our release tune down to 0. Give it a little bit of release. So, not an amazing example, but it's an example of how you can get audio in through here and how you can begin to process it through here.